Hi, Casey. How you doing?
Hey, okay, Bruce.
Great to have you on the show. Congratulations. Boy, last year you almost made it to the World Series, and here with this trade to the Dodgers, you're close again.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I haven't really had time to stop and think about it much, just being in the thick of things. But, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Tell us what it's been like to make the transition, not only to a new organization, but a new league.
Well, I'll tell you what, it sucked at first. Just walking into that clubhouse, not knowing a soul. You know, I left my boys in Cleveland. You know, I mean, I loved all those guys. You know, all the players, coaching staff, front office. I mean, can't say enough great things about them. You know, and then all of a sudden I'm all alone, like a new kid in school, and it sucked for a while. But you know, I knew that'd kind of wear off, and I started to know these guys better. And you know, I've never been a part of a trade, you know, before, so it was all new to me. I mean, you go over there, there's expectations, there's just some nerves, you know, so you want to impress everybody again, and it was tough.
How well did you know Joe Torre when he was with the Yankees, if at all?
No, I've never met him.
So how was he in greeting you when you were traded to the Dodgers, and what's it been playing for him? Give us your observations of Torre.
Well, you know, going over there, you know, I guess Eric Wedge was one of the last guys I talked to before I left, and he just had nothing but great things to say about Joe. And Joe's been great. You know, he's different than what I maybe expected of him. Probably a little more loose and down to earth than I expected him to be, but you know, he was great, and he just kind of expressed just, you know, how happy. You know, I think maybe they had some problems at third, and they just expressed how happy he was to have it.
Well, you've done your damage at the plate. Certainly you have been the unsung hero. Ramirez gets all the ink, but boy, the contribution you've made with the Dodgers, they all talk about Ramirez. I don't know if the Dodgers would have qualified without you, Casey, really.
Well, I appreciate that, you know, but, yeah, I started out well, which, you know, kind of put my nerves at ease a little bit. You know, I'm glad I started out all right. You know, and then just did okay. I helped out here and there, you know, but I think, you know, one of the main things they were looking for, maybe, you know, just from me as a ball player, is just kind of what I would do with the Indians. I kind of just, you know, play by, you know, show by example. You know, pretty good in the clubhouse, you know, kind of keep it loose and kind of bridge the gap between, you know, maybe some veterans and the young guys, and just kind of try to do what I do. You know, I think that's mainly what they were looking for.
Sure. How well have you gotten to know Ramirez?
Pretty well. You know, like we felt like we kind of had a common bond. You know, being the two trade guys and having a bond with Cleveland and or having ties with Cleveland, and you know, playing against each other in the last several years. And so we kind of hit it off right away, and he's been awesome. You know, I mean, I didn't know what to expect of him, but he's an excellent teammate. He's always positive. You know, always picking you up if you know, maybe make an out or whatever. He's always has something positive to say, and he's just like a big kid playing in the backyard.
You know, when the Dodgers first got Ramirez, I spotted a story that I threw out at the fans here, Case, that Torre was going to get Ramirez to cut off his dreadlocks. And I said, if he hits like he did in Boston, you'll see Torre change his tune. I see that Ramirez still has the dreadlocks, and you still have your beard, so they must not have talked to you about that because of the way you've been playing.
Well, like 2 weeks into it, somebody said that Torre didn't let him have a beard, or he had to keep it trimmed or something like that. So I was like, you know, hopefully he would have told me if he wanted me to shave. He didn't say anything to me, so I kept it.
I remember when you were with us, you talked about it being your good luck charm. Did you guys play Philly since you joined the Dodgers, or no?
Yeah, we played them twice, and it was kind of a home team advantage, or home field advantage. We swept them at our place, they swept us at their place. So they weren't playing real well at that time, and we weren't playing real well when we came here. So hopefully it's a little better game.
Do you guys use defensively the same shift on Ryan Howard as the teams do with Ortiz, Tomey, and Hafner?
Yes, we do. We'll play the three guys on the right side of the field. Unlike Ortiz, when a runner gets at first base, they won't let me turn two like we did last year. I think maybe they broke out the tape from last year and said, I don't think we're going to be letting this guy turn two. so I kind of moved back over to my spot.
Should be a great series, Casey.
Well, I think you're right. I think we have a lot of similar qualities. As you compare our teams, it's just. But what's going to obviously great pitching. Whoever pitches is going to win the series, and I think it's going to come down to who gets obviously who gets the clutch hits, and you get good pitching and clutch hits, you're going to win most times out. But that's what it's going to come down to.
Are you surprised with the Cubs?
I answered that question today, as honestly as I could. And was I surprised at a sweep? Yeah. I thought we matched up with those guys well, and I expected to beat them. I expect, I didn't really expect, but I thought maybe, if we could have split in Chicago, that'd have been great. But we ended up taking two, and then 5-game series, man. Teams down 0-2, it's tough to come back, so you just try to finish them off.
Oh yeah. You had them. When you won those two, that second game in Wrigley, it was all over for them. And, we haven't won a World Series, as you well know, here, Casey, since 1948. For them, it's 100 years and counting.
Oh man. I kind of expected the Chicago crowd to be a little rowdy. They're good, knowledgeable fans. They're there to have a great time, but I expect them to be a little more rowdy. But boy, James Loney hit that grand slam and just took the crowd out of it.
Now listen, when you got traded, did you move your beautiful family, those daughters of yours, and your lovely wife out to L.A. with you right away? How did you do that? Because the girls are in school.
Yeah, you know what? The girls were in school, so they went back to Iowa, and then they just have been visiting periodically. So just kind of, I hate to take them out of school. They don't want to miss school, first of all, which I don't blame them. But it's tough to pack them up and fly them clear across country. So. It stinks, but I try to see him every once in a while.
But are you open-minded, at least, of the possibility this offseason, since you're going to be a free agent, of possibly returning to Cleveland?
I'm definitely going to keep an open mind with that. I know they have some options at third base, and I don't know if they'd want me, if they wanted me just to play, solely play third base, or if they wanted me to maybe move around a little bit. But I know they have some other options they're looking at, but it's tough when this is the first time being a free agent. But I've talked to some guys, and I'll try to keep this answer short, but they said, well, it comes down to, what's important to you? Is winning important to you? Is the clubhouse important to you? Is money important to you? And it's going to be hard not to go. A team is maybe outbidding the other team by quite a bit more. It's tough to turn that team down. But I think first and foremost, the type of clubhouse you're going into is probably the most important thing to me. And then if you can win with that good clubhouse, that's even better, like we did last year. And I think the money is probably third to all those things.
Well, there's not a day that goes by that I don't get emails or phone calls or both about wishing the Indians hadn't traded you or hoping that you would come back. So